ABKD of Alamat. Somebody requested that I do a reaction. Let's get to it. Whoa. Okay. All right. I guess they're great. 8 seconds in, and I'm already pausing. But this deserves an explanation. Philippines, one of the worst. Not every culture is all beautiful and all peaches and creams. There's in every culture there's an ugly side, and one of the worst things that we have developed in the Philippines. Not all the Philippines, not all Filipinos, but many Filipinos, is the colonial mentality. And I've created a video out of that. I've suffered from that in the past. I've always thought that being an American, having a lighter skin, brighter skin is actually way better than our own skin. And to this day, brightening and lightening products are actually the best-selling products of all time in the Philippines, and they're not affected by inflation, by any kind of economic downturn. The Philippines could be going to shit and people will still be wanting to brighten their skin, thinking that it is way better to dye in somebody else's skin color than ours. So this billboard that they have in the opening says so much. It says so much. So it says that ugly no more, and the woman is actually becoming bright. Her skin is actually becoming brighter. So people grow up with this notion that if you're dark, you're ugly, and it has to stop. It really has to stop. The truth is that this skin, our skin, brown skin, is actually beautiful. It's just as beautiful as the black ones, just as beautiful as the white ones, still beautiful. And someone's beauty has nothing to do with the skin color. Now, the girl that they used in this video, I would say that she's obviously an indigenous person, so probably an Aita. That's my best guess. I created a video out of it discussing that they're often regarded as the first Filipinos. That's highly debated. Some people are saying they're from Africa, not from Africa. They're not the original Filipinos. Regardless, they're Filipinos. And so I'm guessing that she's one of them. So her hair, the Aita's hair, is like that, very kinky, very curly. And the skin color and the structure of her face, that's actually the structure of an indigenous person's face. And as I said, my guess is Aita. I could be wrong. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so the initial sound of the bird chirping, this is all over the Philippines. This is one of the things I really miss. When you walk in the streets of Manila or anywhere, this sound of bird chirping is really one of the most common sounds that you will ever hear, and that's one of the things that makes the Philippines so unique, our everyday life so unique. You hear this every day, so that's a nice way to actually incorporate something every day among Filipinos. Next is that, just to comment on the beat and the melody, it's very laid back and very simple. It sounds very simple. So if you hear the instrument, let's go back. You hear that percussion that feels like it's reverberating. That's a native Filipino sound. I don't know how they're getting that sound, but it's a native Filipino instrument. I don't know what it's called though. But you push it against you hit your palm against it, and it makes that reverberating sound. That's sounds of course percussion-y. It sounds like a percussion. So, but I don't know what it's called. Okay, so that's nice. Also that the beat that goes it goes twice. So 1 second. Let's see if I can capture it. It sounds like the percussion. I'm talking about the percussion that goes two. It sounds like the bamboo used in tinikling, when it hits the pavement. So we have a traditional dance called the tinikling, where there are two bamboo stick that you beat against a wood twice on the floor, and then you hit them against each other. You should be seeing like a sample of that tinkling. That's what it sounds like. So even the sound, even the instrument and the music is actually sounding very, very Filipino. I really love it. I really love it.
Yeah, mabato man ang daan, puno pa ng mga hadlang. Wakurong tiwala ko sa'yo. Huwag mong hayaang magkaagaw ang iyong mga pangarap.
Nice the change of pace. Okay, I'll say something, but let's finish this.
Mga tala, mundo mo ito, doon mo nung pagkasama, tiwala ka sa iyong sarili ka, gabay mo si Bathala, mundo mo ito, ginagsinantida.
Okay, so the one is if you look at the lyrics itself, it's so Filipino in the value and in the way that it's communicating its message. Filipinos are very accountable for our own actions. We have never been trained to I don't know where to credit it, but we have always been trained and taught that whatever is happening in our life is a product of our own decision making. We are what we are because we've decided to become this. There's always an option. There's always a choice. It may be a choice between bad and worse, but the choice is always there. And so if you listen to what they're saying, they're sort of ignoring not ignoring, but they're saying that they're sort of forcing the truth on the face of the girl. They're telling her, this is the situation. There's nothing you can do about these people that are doing this to you. That they are none of your business. Your business is yourself, and this is your world, and this is your life, and you can take control over it. So you can spend that is sort of the subliminal message. That's why that if you go and listen to the lyrics, mundo mo ito, this is your world. Your value is gold, and this is your world. So you're saying that you're in control. This is what you were born into, but this is not what you need to live in. You can change it, and you have all the control in the world. So there's a part, now this scene, okay.
Wala man siyang may kapaturan, pupiyo nga may mahibalan. Sa unahan nga ingon, ani, kabuta ang pangandoy mo, maglawig na kakaroon. Hemo, ganong banagiman, na makakaubos diri dapat tamatiyan. Nanang tamang panahon nga ikaigosan.
Okay. So we have 120 ethno-linguistics groups in the Philippines. So a lot of the things that they said in that entire part, I don't understand because I don't speak their language. Although it's in my country, it's a little embarrassing, but that's the truth. So I don't know if is this like traditional sayings in their hometown. I'm not sure. But this whole setup, number one is the clothes. I remember in the first reaction that I did for them, I was talking about how they were able to modernize Filipino aesthetics, and they've done this again here. And the fashion just looks beautiful. Philippine aesthetics for me, it has always been very, very beautiful for me, and for them to be able to modernize it, I wish they will keep on doing this, and I sort of feel like this could be one of the many marks they will create in the international in the international scene, the fashion that they will introduce in the international scene, making it very, very Filipino. That's one of the things that they can really do. And then as I've said, I don't know if the different languages is actually like a traditional saying or a belief, or it has something very, very cultural that is just from their hometown. But great choice for the fashion. And then this scene where they're using phones, like cups as phones. This used to be it's actually a very Filipino thing, because up until maybe the 1990s, if you applied for a phone line, like a landline, a phone line in the Philippines, this is not a joke. You'll have to wait like 10 years before so you apply when you, for example, it's just funny. It really takes decades for them to actually give you your phone. They started when mobile phones were introduced. That's the only time landline companies made their connections faster. And so this is a classic game in the Philippines, children's games, like using the tin cans as phones and connecting them with threads. That's a very, very popular game in the Philippines. So again, they're highlighting something very, very Filipino. But this scene where there's a lot of post-its, and then I just remember those times when you actually need to wait like 10 years before they connect your phone, before they give you landlines and stuff. It's just so funny. So but this picture actually perfectly encapsulates the chaos of the beautiful chaos of our culture, because it's all of us connecting together, going for the same goal, but we're also different because of all the varied culture, languages, and our different beliefs and religions and stuff. So this perfectly encapsulates that. But I also want to highlight the cinematography and the framing, because it's just great. This guy's reaction is so funny. But the way that they created, so there's a principle in photography that says that you need to provide the viewer a direction. You need to direct the eye where the eye is going. So the creation of the V shape and every single member being seen on the camera and then forming a V directs my eye that I'm actually now looking at every single member. No one is ignored. My eye travels from this guy with this funny face, I love him, all the way to that guy in the middle. So that creation of V shape is great. And then it's consistent with the background, because this one looks like a V shape as well. So the consistency, the levels, and the parallelism, I guess, of the it's not parallelism, but the use of similar elements in order to create a cohesive aesthetics in the film is great. Okay, next. Just like I'm only on my first minute and I'm like 13 minutes in this reaction. Okay, let's do it. I'm gonna leave it to their many fans to explain the different patches of their shirts, but those have meanings. The patches that they use actually have meanings that's very connected to the Philippine culture and our Philippine history. Another bad part about our culture is that there's crab mentality is actually very common. So crab mentality is when you pull people down instead of pushing them up. So they said that in the Philippines, when you can't succeed, when you can't move forward, your tendency is to just pull everybody down so that everybody is miserable. Instead of working hard to achieve your dreams, you just pull everybody down. So that's and so this scene where there is a crab, and they're trying to get to the girl, is again a criticism of our culture. But what's interesting is that they're fighting, they're saying that this, we can beat this ugly side of our own culture using the good side of our own culture, right? Fantastic. Like, you don't need to have any kind of superpower to beat this. The good side of our culture can beat the ugly side of our culture. Okay. Nice voice. Oh, okay. So I really love the aesthetics. They were able to create such a fiesta sort of feel without making it look cheap. There's a certain sophistication in the way that they were able to combine all the colors, different elements, all of these designs. All the things that you see, I sneezed, that's why I caught, not because, okay, so the elements that you're seeing right now on your screen, these are all ethnic Filipino design elements that you will see when you travel to different places in the Philippines, but they modernize it. So that's great. I think the other thing that I really want to highlight would be the mention that ABKD is actually our old alphabet. Now we've actually adopted the Western alphabet of A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But we used to have ABKD, but okay, so that's what the ABKD title came from. Okay. The other thing is that the recognition of the band about how important faith is for the Philippines. In America, in the Western countries, faith is supposedly, in many times, you're not actually even allowed to talk about your faith and stuff like that. So it's really their version of respecting somebody's faith is by not talking about any kind of faith at all. But in the Philippines, there's just a sweeping understanding that faith is an integral part of our daily life, and you can't avoid it. We may have different faiths, but whatever that faith is, it's a recognition that it plays an important part. And so in their lyrics, talking about Bathala, but God will take care of you, that's their way of saying that no, faith is an important part of our culture, and you're just gonna have to be okay with that. Okay, all right. Next, let's continue. Let's go. And then, okay, this one, the other thing that I wanted to. So, baluga was a bad term. It was a way for people to insult other people that have a darker skin color. So when you're darker, you're called baluga. And now this scene is such a powerful one because they're saying stop calling people baluga. They're Aita. So that's the name of that's the name that you call them. They're Aitas, not balugas. So stop insulting them because having a darker skin color is actually not an insult. Okay. And then all of these elements that you see, these are all Filipino design elements. So you will see this when you travel all around the country. Bamboo is actually an integral part of our design and an integral part of our aesthetics. So yeah, that's and the way that she's holding her head up high. Perfect. Okay.
ABKD awitin mo bilang isa, dalawa, tatlo. Bayanihan, ikaw ako, mundo mo ito. ABKD awitin mo bilang isa, dalawa, tatlo. Bayanihan, ikaw ako, mundo mo ito. Wala sa sarili, gagabay mo si batala. Dire-diretso lang, di mo kailangan mabahala. Isa, dalawa, tatlo. Alamat, ikaw handa.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy with what they have created. I'm so happy with this song. Thank you for recommending this. But yeah, I think I've said everything that I wanted to say in throughout the video. So just to recap, I really like how they did not turn away from the bad side of our culture. We do have colonial mentality, we have crab mentality, but they've also highlighted the fact that the way for us to beat that would be our own culture as well. So we have enough great sides of our own culture that we don't need anybody's influence, we don't need anybody's help, we can figure this out. And primarily that good side of our culture is our own accountability. We've always been raised with the notion that this is, this is what we have. You can't, somebody else's frame of mind is none of your business, but you can do something to change your own world. You can do something to change your own perspective. And so that lyrics about you, this is your world, mundo mo ito, this is your world, this their way of saying it has always been, that has always been our greatest weapon. It's our ability to rise above all the challenges with nothing but ourselves, and we can do it. I like how they have recognized that faith is a huge part of our culture that's not gonna go away. We have different religions, meaning we have different beliefs, we have different divine document to follow, but that doesn't change the fact that culture, that religion, our faith is a huge part of our everyday culture, and we should in fact actually keep it. It actually has it's a lot of advantages now that I'm here and I'm seeing it, so we should continue honoring that. I like how I like how they have, in the entirety of the song, they've actually kept those instruments, those native Filipino instruments sounding those instruments that sounds like native Filipino instruments. I like that. I don't know what's that called. It's two wood that if you hit it against your palm or anything against anything, actually it makes that sound. That percussion sounds like the bamboo of a tinikling. I like that they use different languages. Oh my god, although I don't understand it, but good thing there's an English transcription. But I do like how they're highlighting the diversity of our own culture. I like how they modernize our fashion, and they've used that. I super love that. Now, I think I really do believe this. I really, really believe that if they continue towards this path and they use they go even deeper in using Filipino sound as an influence, Filipino instruments, Filipino fashion, if they continue talking about things that are decidedly Filipino, I think they will have a shot in the international market, because the key to making it in the international market is not doing things that the Westerners are doing, because that's their own culture. So the key is to actually introduce your own to the international market, and they have what it takes to do that. So I'm looking forward to more. I am going home to the Philippines in April. I hope there's like a live show I can watch of them or something. But anyway, thanks. Bye.